I'm ChampChong. It is Friday. Before we kick off the final show before the weekend, let's get to the clip of the day.
But in the end, the defenders snuffed it out. Oh, he's in quickly there, crisply too. Oh, that's fantastic. Ben Arthur. Great open. Could it be? Goal! That's the kind of individual goal that gets the fans absolutely thrilled.
G'day guys, welcome to the Friday edition of the show where I report on the latest in gaming news, and today there's a whole lot of that gaming news. So if you do go on to enjoy today's video packed with the latest in gaming news, please be awesome and smack that like button. And now let's get to the first news report of the day, which obviously is about the PlayStation 4 being revealed. And instead of doing a recap like a bunch of other YouTubers, I'm going to mention a few key things and then build on what we actually know. First off, the PS4 console itself was not revealed at the event. The main reason for this is that Sony has not decided on the final design, but we'll most likely see it at E3. But what we do sort of know is how powerful the console is thanks to this key point on screen, and then after the event itself, we actually did find out the specs that were released. Basically, the PS4 is a custom PC, and it's actually a pretty sweet one that's going to perform pretty well. Also, you can see on screen that games will still be running on the Blu-ray disc, and now it also has USB 3.0, which is pretty nice. Oddly enough, the console still has AV outputs, which is kind of weird because I don't know how many people actually use that, but hopefully the console doesn't ship with them, or maybe it does, but hopefully it also ships with HDMI cables, which would be pretty nice. Anyway, to help show off the power of the console, we did see some of the games, and a lot of these games looked incredible, and one part that really got me was when this character was shown off. Seriously, that realism is just incredible. Now what we don't know is if every character in a game will look like this, or if this is just an example of what the PS4 can do, but my guess is that it will be able to do this with every character. The reason I say that is that they went from 15,000 polygons to 20,000 and now 30,000 polygons, and they previously did a whole game with 20,000 per person, and now they're going to do it with 30,000, which kind of makes sense. But to move away from the actual games, because you guys can go check out trailers and gameplay videos for that kind of stuff, I want to mention the release date of the game. Right now, the release date is set as Holiday 2013, and that's for the United States. We don't know about the UK, Australia, and other regions, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that does pan out for Sony, and mainly how that pans out for us, because I would hate it if we get it in like March 2014, because right now in this day and age we don't get global releases. It just doesn't really make sense. Let's all just hope that it is a Holiday 2013 release for the entire world, because that would be really nice and we'd all get to play new games at the same time. Anyway, another thing I do want to point out is at this point in time there is no set price for the PlayStation 4. Everything you hear at this point is just speculation and rumors, and everything you see in a store for pre-orders, it's just for pre-order purposes. It's not the final price. So if you're one of the people that are like, hey ChampChong, the PS4's on pre-order for blah 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 this price, and I'm like, hey, it's not the actual final price because it's just set there for you to pre-order. And if you have pre-ordered the console and you think it's going to be that price and it ends up being more, you may be a little bit disappointed with that. And speaking of disappointment, some people aren't too happy with the controller. I honestly think it's a really good upgrade to what we saw with the DualShock 3. It's a little bit bigger, it has a few extra features, and it's pretty cool. Now one thing I do want to point out is that after the event finished, it was revealed that the console will ship with the controller obviously, but it will also ship with a dedicated headset. The reason for this is, as you may know, this new controller has a headset jack on the bottom of it, so it's just like the Xbox 360 controller. Basically this means that unlike the PlayStation 3 where you didn't get a headset at all and you had to find yourself a Bluetooth headset randomly, yeah, now you're gonna get yourself a nice little plastic headset. But anyway, that is enough talk with the PlayStation 4. As more information does come through, I'll keep you guys updated with all of that. But now let's continue with the rest of the news of the gaming world, and it starts off today with the sad news.
Sad news! What the fuck?
So today's sad news involves EA because, well, they're in the news after firing a bunch of people. Layoffs at the EA Los Angeles studios, the Montreal studios, and other small studios were confirmed by the EA labels boss Frank Gibeau. Some people are now left without jobs, the number is not known at this time, but these people are left with severance packages while others have been retrained and put into new parts in their new jobs. This is most likely just EA clearing up shop and then they're getting ready for the next gen, which kind of makes sense. EA have also said that even though they have lost some people now, they are growing as a company because the new generation is arriving in games. And speaking of the next gen arriving at EA, it was quite disappointing, and I was quite sad that we didn't see any new sports games revealed at the Sony event for the PlayStation 4 from EA. Because if you do think about it, every time a new console has come out, we really did see the major leap in gaming when a new sports game was revealed. However, we're left with waiting for EA to reveal a new sports game, or maybe even 2K will reveal one, and that will probably be at E3, but until E3, we have the big news.
Big news!
So today's big news is packed with gaming news because the whole start of the show was all PS4 and now there's a bunch of stuff to get through. And to jump in, let's go first off with Black Ops 2 because it's having a double XP weekend starting tonight. The double XP will last all the way until Monday and will be for gamers on the PS3, Xbox 360, PC, and even the Wii U. Now, one thing to point out is that it only affects player experience and not weapon experience points. Adding to this news, Black Ops 2 will be free to play on Steam this weekend. You will be able to get the game at no cost, but when the weekend is over, the game will no longer be playable on your machine. However, if you do actually buy the game, it will be 33% off on Steam over the weekend, so it's probably a better idea to buy the game if you really want it. And just to clear that up once again, it's free to download for just the weekend and then it's no longer playable, but if you actually do download and pay for it, it's 33% off the regular price. Now, since we are talking about Steam, let's move on to our next news report, which is that Arma 3 will be a Steam exclusive. The developers said that they had to make it a Steam exclusive to meet their deadline. They also explained with it just being on the one platform, it allows them to dedicate all their resources to update the game and any bugs or DLC since they don't have to worry about other platforms. And honestly, I think this is a smart move because who doesn't get their PC games over Steam unless you're getting an EA game over Origin, so yeah, it's a really clever move by the company. Anyway, moving on to our next news report, it's that BioShock Infinite will be getting a season pass for all its DLC. It's been confirmed that there will be no less than 3 pieces of DLC and it will cost you $20 on the PS3 and PC, while Xbox gamers will pay 1,600 Microsoft points. It's also being reported that if you do get the season pass early, you'll be rewarded with a bunch of extra upgrades for weapons, which is pretty damn cool. And something else that is pretty cool, it's our next news report, which is our final news report and probably our biggest news report of the day, because Ubisoft have been sending out invitations to an Assassin's Creed event on the 27th of February in London. This most certainly means that there will be a reveal of the next Assassin's Creed game, which is most likely Assassin's Creed 4. Now, me being a massive Assassin's Creed fan and wanting to know where the next game is going to be set, I looked into this a little. And when I say a little, I mean a little too much. And what I got from this is that the building that the event is being held in London was actually firebombed back in World War II. Also, if you do look at each Assassin's Creed game, they are all separated by about 200 years. So with the Assassin's Creed 3 game being set in the 1700s, it's going to make sense that 200 years later, Assassin's Creed 4 is set in London during World War II, and yes, the building will probably be in the game. Now, this is just a crazy guess, but it does actually kind of make sense. So yeah, I guess next Wednesday we're going to find out the next Assassin's Creed game, and we're going to also find out if my guess is correct and it's set in London. But now, somebody who has never been to London, England, it is Gorilla Man, and he is here with the question of the day. Thanks, Gorilla Man. Okay guys, the question is, if you could add a cheat code to any game, what cheat code would it be and why? So get really creative with your answers and put them down below in the comment section. You can end up on the next show, but enjoyed today's video, make sure to smack that like button because I'm ChampChong, my access Australian. Here are the answers to Gorilla Man's previous question.